You know, so what was the hardest comic for you to draw?
Maybe each issue of Lose is, I do a series called Lose, published by Koyama Press, and that, it didn't always start out really difficult, but for some reason I go through this process now where I'll start an issue of that and I'll draw like 15 or 20 pages of one story and then like throw it out and start from scratch, and then I'll realize like I have 2 months less on the deadline because it's been so long on this other thing. So that for some reason, I don't really know why, but that's become the hard thing in my year for drawing.
Yeah, I always feel when I'm reading your work, it seems like it comes out so quickly and so natural. I feel a sense of like a memoir. It's like almost like a memoir. It's an abstracted like diary of what's going on in your life or what you're thinking, which is always kind of curious. It's like seeing how things are coming out of you at that time. I think of it's killing me that I can't remember the title of it. The book that you did about art school students and the Dream Machine thing.
Oh, Open Country.
Open Country, yeah. I felt like before I did this, we set up this program, I sent out a questionnaire, and you actually revealed to me that you didn't actually have a direct like arts education, like say me or Chuck have.
Oh, no.
Or Anna, yeah. So I feel like a lot of that book was you kind of like grappling with your feelings about that.
Yeah, well, sometimes I'll notice I do a lot of different projects at once, and like different serials, but I don't write any of them in advance. So I'll sometimes notice, like, if I look back at a bunch of different projects I drew within a few months of each other, just though there will be like weird little trends of whatever I was thinking of at the time, or like times where all of my comics are suddenly full of monologues, or times when like I'm not writing any dialogue at all, or whatever. All my designs are super fat or something. Something, yeah, middle thing.
You know, I noticed something similar about Memoir when I was finding out about your comics on it. It seems like, is the buddies relationship based off of your own relationships with other people? Is it like an abstraction of your own goofy misadventures, or is it just actually just a strange exploration of your id?
I think I would be a horrible person then, like, I would be one of the buddies. Yeah, I don't know, like, actually I have no idea. Like, I think, like, the world they're living in, like, forces them to be like this, because it's, like, rough and, like, really, like, dark and dirty and just, like, an ugly neighborhood, so, like, they have to be ugly, like, kind of like in that. Yeah, I don't know, like, I mean, there's barely an interaction too, like, they would totally, like, kill themselves, like, for some food or whatever, so, like, I mean, I would call them, like, friends, but, like, but yeah, I don't know, like, it's really,
They're your worst friends.
yeah, my nightmare friends.
Well, then there's the strange opposite of Chuck. Definitely the main character of your comic, The End of the Fucking World, is definitely almost like a sociopathic character at times.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I'll have a lot of people pick up the book and they'll ask me, or they'll look at me, and I can tell what they're thinking, and I'm like, no, it's not me.
Well, how do you feel you got into that mindset? Were you just imagining it, or do you feel like it's based off of some other understanding of someone else, or just other character types?
Yeah, I mean, even, you know, it's not me, but I mean, everything I write has something in me, or something from people I know. But yeah, the sociopathic thing, I don't know how. It might have come from watching Dexter a few years ago. That's the only like art I can think of where I might have stolen it from. And I just kind of like that idea. It seemed like an interesting idea to have a main character who's hard to like and doesn't really feel. So I guess it was a challenge, but I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's totally understandable. It's like kind of hard sometimes to like having it, like the page reveal itself to you. You're like, oh, that's me right there. I just put that down. That's weird.
Yeah, I know. I hate. Yeah, my mom orders all my books, and I feel really bad.
Yeah, that's,
Sorry, Mom.
Oh, come on now. But you mentioned Dexter, though. That's another thing that I kind of want to bring up with all three of you. You mentioned your interest in film, the questionnaire, but also Michael. Obviously, you work on Adventure Time, which has kind of captured a bit of the moment of what's going on in culture these days. But also, Anna, you've worked on some animations yourself. I'd be curious to hear what you would have to say about how that relates to making comics.
Yeah, I just wanted to animate. That was the basic reason, I think. And then I kind of like felt like God, like when they finally moved, like it was so cool. And like I read this Walt Disney biography, and that was pretty awesome. Like just
The
like
big one, what's the biographer's name?
I forgot like something. I think Dan something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Bible kind of thing. And it was so cool, like just like the pioneer, like reading about the pioneer days of like animation and this like sheet by sheet thing. And I totally wanted to do that, like just by myself. And it was a load of work, but it was also so cool, like just to make like your own characters move and like finally talk and like. So yeah, that was fun. But it's so much work, so I'm not gonna like return to that like this year, I think, or maybe next year.
Yeah, but Michael, you're not an animator on the show. You're a designer mainly.
Yeah, I'm a designer. And I've done a little bit of storyboard.
Yeah, I heard about that recently too. I actually saw something recently on your online presence about the giant penguin monster that you were rather proud of.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
But yeah, how do you feel about working on something like this, and how do you feel it relates to your comics work?
It's sort of weird. I feel the design stuff specifically, I feel it's improved my drawing a lot. Just because I have to be on such a tight deadline with everything, and I have to draw with more depth than I normally do in my comics, because I usually do everything sort of flattened out in comics. But it's weird. It's like such a different process that, like, it's still drawing, but it's taking up a different part of my brain doing the design stuff. It's like rigorous, but a different type of rigorous than the way drawing comics is. Storyboarding felt more close, but even that was like different enough that it felt like I was doing a totally different thing than comics specifically.
Yeah, well, obviously you're not just making it for yourself. It's got to go through a chain of command, and it has to go with the style of the show.
Right, but even just the way you do a comic is like so much about graphic design and like things in the panel, like they just have to look right. Like everything about a comic is just like making shit look right, and it's different when you're designing something that is going to be animated, or storyboarding something that's going to be animated, because it's like guidelines and maybe closer to illustration sometimes. It's like a different thing you're going for, and just making some like perfectly composed thing or imperfectly composed thing.
I imagine that must be great working on that program, though. It seems like they've done a really good job of hiring the entire alternative comics team in Canada.
Yeah, they scooped up a few of us.
Who are the ones who work on that show again?
Specifically Canadians are Steve Wolfhard and Matt Forsyth, but Jesse Moynihan, Rebecca Sugar's done work on the show, Jesse Jacobs, Tom Herbeck, like a lot of comics artists have worked on it.
Yeah, how do you feel about, I mentioned earlier the history of Canadian comics. You have like Seth, and you have Chester Brown, you have Julie Doucet, and there's also a great history reaching almost even to the very early days of cartooning of like alternative comics in Canada, which I feel is kind of like a not super as well explored realm as it should be. I always seem to stumble across something great like Casual by
Pete Dacko.
By Pete Dacko, yeah, who did a great job of spreading just like different weird comics across the world. But how do you feel about, what do you think captures the Canadian aesthetic of cartooning?
I'm not sure if I could say it as one aesthetic or something. Like there are definitely weird little scenes that seem to capture like a good, like they're like a book like Nagadog or Shrimpy and Paul, or like things related to like Mark Bell and Pete Thompson, Keith Jones, or artists sort of a bit further away from that scene, like Luke Ramsey, are still kind of like that. They have psychedelia or whatever the term for it is.
Yeah.
But like those zines coming out at the same time were like really But then, yeah, that seems like a totally different thing than like Joe, Matt, Chester Brown, and Seth walking around Toronto. So
Definitely, but it also feels like there's always an appreciation for experimentation.
oh sure, and there's so many like weird little, I don't know, weird little alleyways to go down Canadian comics, like
You're in Valium.
sure, or like a Neil the horseback issue or something.
Oh, yeah.